all, this is Dr. Arpana Chaturvedi from the Department of Information Technology. The subject which I am taking is Artificial Intelligence. In this, as we were talking about knowledge representation, Unit 3, we have already talked about knowledge-based aging. Then we talked about various types of knowledge. Then we talked about how the facts and knowledge can be, knowledge representation can be mapped. And we talked about the different, the cycle with this knowledge representation in AI take place. What are the different components like perception, and then knowledge representation and reasoning, planning, learning and execution. Now further on we will see the techniques which are involved to represent the knowledge. There are 4 different techniques which we use to represent the knowledge. First is logical representation, second is semantic network representation, frame representation and production rule. One by one we will see all the 4 techniques. So first is your logical representation. In logical representation, we say that it is a language with some definite rules. As we are saying, logical means either true or false. So it has to follow certain rules which deals with proposition and which has no ambiguity in representation. It represents a conclusion based on various conditions and lays down some important communication rules. It consists of precisely defined syntax and semantics. It has to follow certain syntax and semantic to represent that knowledge which supports the sound inference, which supports the right appropriate inference. And here in logical representation, we take each and every sentence and we convert that following a particular syntax and having a particular meaning in an appropriate form. Whereas there is a thin line difference between syntax and semantics. Syntax means how we will be going to construct those all sentences into a logical sentences, into a valid sentences, into a legal sentences. It determines which symbols are to be used to represent the knowledge. As we will see in further coming classes that there are so many number of symbols and connectives which will be using, which will be helping us to represent those all propositions in our appropriate form. So in syntax we have to use those all appropriate symbols. Right. So we'll be seeing how those symbols are to be used, how those symbols are to be written, how those connectives are to be used. But when we talk about semantics, semantics are rules by which we interpret the sentence and the logic. The sentence which we are forming over there, the logical sentence which we are forming using some connectives and symbols, we should be able to interpret the meaning out of that. Those sentences should not be meaningless. Those sentences should not be invalid. Those sentences, those information which we are representing over there should be complete, should be meaningful, should have a sense. Those should not be having incompleteness in themselves and they should not have some ambiguity in themselves. So with the example we will see further on. The advantage of logical representations is it helps to perform logical reasoning, and this representation is basically the base of all programming language. If we are not able to represent the information which we are having, the data we are having, the knowledge we are having in an appropriate logical manner, we will not be able to reason it further on to conclude or to reach to certain conclusion. So it is a base for the knowledge representation technique or programming language. Disadvantage is logical representation have some restrictions and are challenging to work with. This technique may not be very natural and inference may not be very efficient every time. There is a semantic network representation. This network is an alternative to predicate logic for knowledge representation. In semantic network, you can represent your knowledge in the form of network, graphical network. This network consists of nodes, wherein nodes are represented as objects and arcs which describe the relationship between those all objects. Fine. And the relationship which we categorize, or the link which we establish between two objects, are based on is a relationship or a kind of relationship. This object is a type of this particular object, or is having a kind of relationship. That we'll see in coming examples in slides and all. Like herein, two examples are, one example is given over here right now. The car is a kind of pickup truck. Car is an object which is a kind of pickup truck. Audi is also a car, BMW is also a car. So the relationship between these two objects is a kind of, whereas the relationship between these two objects is a kind of. Similarly, headlight. Audi has a headlight. So the relationship between Audi and headlight is Audi has a headlight. Same relationship, BMW is also having this object, that BMW is also has a headlight. So this is a representation, graphical representation, wherein objects are shown in the form of nodes, and the arcs are showing the relationship between two nodes or two objects, and the relationship which are here are is a relationship, has a relationship, or a kind of relationship. So we can represent the knowledge in using semantic network also. The advantages, semantic networks are a natural representation of knowledge, is basically easy to understand, very transparent, simple, and it convey meaning in a very transparent manner. What are the disadvantages? It take more computational time at runtime. These are inadequate as they do not have any equivalent quantifier. These networks are not that much intelligent and depends upon the creator of the system that how good this network is being represented or created. In case of complex system, it becomes very complex to represent all the information in a graphical manner. Then there is a third type of representation, that is frame representation. Frame behaves like a record-like structure. It consists of all the collection of attributes and values to describe an entity of a world. These are AI data structure that divides knowledge into substructures by representing stereotype situations. It consists of collections of slot and slot values. One of any type and size, and slots, every slot will be having a name and value, which are also in turn called as facets. So we can describe the entire script in the form of frame, that what happens first, then second, then third and fourth. In this slot we can design the entire frame with respect to a given problem. So what are the advantage? It makes the programming easier by grouping all the related data together in the form of frames. Frame representation is easy to understand as well as visualize, that which slot will come first. Anytime any slot is required can be added with new attributes in relationship. It is easy to include default data also and search for missing value also. Whereas disadvantages in frame system inference, the mechanism cannot be easily processed. Inference mechanism can also be not that much smoothly going to proceed by frame representation, and it is a very generalized approach. Next is production rule. In production rule, basically AGIS checks for the condition, and in case the condition exists, then production rules fires, corresponding actions will be going to take place. The condition part of rule determines which rule may be applied to a problem. There are so many number of set of rules, which rule is to be triggered wherever the action part carries out the associated problem solving steps. So what we say, that production rules works as a recognize then act cycle, and it consists of three main parts. One will be a set of production rule, another will be working memory, and on the basis of this memory set and set of rules, it will be going to recognize and act. Now the advantages of production rules are, these are expressed in natural language. Production rules are highly modular and can be easily removed or modified any time as per the requirement. Whereas when we talk about disadvantage, it does not exhibit any learning capabilities. does not store the result of the problem for future use even. During the execution of a program, many rules may be active, thus rule-based production systems are inefficient, and these were important techniques for knowledge representation in AI. Now we talk about the different representation adequacies which are going to make a good knowledge representation. So we say that the good knowledge representation system should have these all properties. One is it should be capable enough of representational accuracy. It should represent all kind of required knowledge. It should have inferential adequacy also. It should be capable enough to inference or reach to the conclusion appropriately. It should be able to manipulate the representational structure to produce new knowledge corresponding to the existing structure using learnings and experiences. It should have inferential efficiency also. It should be having ability to direct the inferential knowledge mechanism into the most productive direction by storing appropriate guides also. Then acquisitional efficiency is must. It should have ability to acquire new knowledge automatically and can work as an automated decision making systems. This is all about today. In coming classes further on we will see the approaches knowledge representation in AI uses as well as the issues in following those all approaches. Thanks for the day.